Hi there, fans, folks, families, and friends. If you're watching us this evening and tuning in, then you found us through Curling Alberta's YouTube channel. And whether it be live or recorded out of curiosity and out of excitement for all things curling, you must be craving a little bit more. And I have a show here for you tonight that's just going to make you jump out of your seats. My name is Evan Asmussen, and I am hosting you here from my home in Edmonton, Alberta, to Curling Alberta's first ever broadcasted series, The Home End. I can't wait for what we have in store for you this evening. We're going to have some fun. We've got a ton of content to get through, and we've got some excited guests who are waiting just outside of our studio who want to chat with you and who want to tell you their story. Now, before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet today on virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we are and can each, in our own way, try to move forward in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Now, viewers and guests, I am extremely excited because the Home End has an exclusive offer to you that we just couldn't refuse, and that's the inside scoop on our newly crowned Team Alberta. And before I let our guests in, just one more moment I'm going to take as I share with you that the foundations of this broadcast are designed for you, the viewer at home, with the intention of highlighting and showcasing some of the marvelous and incredible events that we have here within our borders of Alberta. And of course, to showcase the commitment of those people to creating safe spaces and inclusive spaces, as well as accessibility for curling across our province. And I thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Our show this evening is also live and unedited, which means that, of course, what you see is what you get. We're going to bring to you every week the truest content here Monday night. Of course, you're going to have to stay connected to Curling Alberta's socials to be able to keep up with what time and where it's going to be. But without your respectful participation, a show like this will never gain traction. So I encourage you to enjoy and watch, participate in the chat bar off to the side here. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. I know our guests are super excited of your support, and I can't wait to guide them through our evening. So from my home, from Curling Alberta's home, and from the homes of our guests, I welcome to you your 2024 Sentinel Storage Alberta Scotties champions. We have Paige Papley joining us. We have Danielle Schmeeman joining us. And of course, Sentinel Sturmay. Welcome, ladies. Of course, there's only 3 of you this evening. I can only imagine that the last 24 hours have been absolutely chaotic. We wish that Desiree was here, but I'm sure she's one of the 10 people who is joining us tonight for our broadcast. How are you doing after what was probably the most chaotic and euphoric experience of your lives?
Yeah, the last 24 hours feel like a bit of a blur, that's for sure. But yeah,
walk us through from last rock to what we see at the very end, all the way to where you're at your homes tonight.
Yeah, I haven't watched it back really yet, so I honestly can't remember much after I remember sweeping the last rock and it's stopping, and then it's honestly been a blur since then. And I know that we got to see our families right away. We had lots of people there watching and cheering for us, which was amazing. We got to do all of the closing ceremony stuff at the rink, and then we were able to go out for dinner as one big group, all of the people that came to support us all week, which was really good to kind of give back to them and say thank you for everything that they did that week. And yeah, that brings us to today, I guess.
Well, and you know what? I mean, we were up in St. Paul for the week, which is not too far away from where you all reside here. But that being said, it really is a trekking journey. And when you're going through all those motions, I mean, you can be at home in just a blink of an eye. And now I've been, for the three of you, watching and staying close to your Instagram stories and to what you have been posting for us as the viewers, to get an inside scoop a little bit on your journey throughout the week and also these last 24 hours. And it absolutely seems like you're all enjoying the moment.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the moment. I honestly can't really say that it's set in, but yeah, just kind of trying to soak up every minute of it here.
Yeah. Well, and Selena, when I was chatting with you last evening, which I thank you for because I know it was just a whirlwind, you said that today you went and worked a 12-hour shift. So, of course, we're here in the evening because work-life balance, right?
Totally, yeah, yeah. I feel like this has been the longest 48 hours of my life. I honestly didn't really sleep at all last night, and then going into a 12-hour shift today, it's been a lot, but yeah.
And I know, Paige, we're going to talk a little bit further about that work-life balance and, of course, how we get ready for the Scotties in Calgary. But I saw a picture of you and your family, and of course, with you and your partner, Evan Van Amsterdam. And obviously, that moment was extremely special to you.
Yeah, it was incredible. Honestly, I'm kind of same as Selena and Danielle. Nothing's really sunk in yet. You just kind of look around and see these pictures, and you're like, oh, wow, I guess we are going to the Scotties. But it's just around the corner, but it also seems like a million years away.
Well, and I think what is so interesting, and in my own mind, and maybe the viewer's mind, for those people that have been following you through your career, which is very green on the vine, but yet super extensive, is the fact that all of you have this wealth of experience that will help drive and move you through into preparation and then, of course, into the Scotties itself. And I want to kind of touch up on a few of those amazing accomplishments, but also allow you the opportunity to share with us how you're going to prepare for this next step in this next adventure that is the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. And so, Paige, one thing that I find super unique, that's not exclusive just to you, but also to some of the members on your team, is how you play a variety of different curling games and the variations that you play as a team with different partners and with different groups. You this year with Danielle won a mixed provincial championship and competed at the mixed nationals. As well, you and your partner Evan are extremely talented at mixed doubles here in the province and on the curling scene. How do those variations prepare you for four-person curling?
Um, it's very different. Mixed curling was really fun. It kind of like brought out the light side and remembering like, wow, I really enjoyed doing this, and I got to play with my best friend, so it was great. When I play doubles with Evan, we've been fortunate enough to play in a lot of big games in the last couple of years. So just being able to experience some of that like pressure in semifinals and finals, and I play lead, so I don't throw a lot of last rocks, but in doubles I get to, which is really fun. So it gives me a bit of perspective on four-person curling, which I really love.
What I marvel at that, Paige, is the fact that when we talk about our roles on a four-person team, we sometimes get stuck in just that role and how to master that role. And we forget that playing a variation, whether it be singles or mixed doubles or mixed itself, provides us an opportunity not only for the social part, but also to get some experience playing a variety of shots. Okay, Desiree is not here with us this evening, and I get it because you know what? Those 24 hours, like, put me on my couch, right? If that was the case. But Desiree is not going to her first Scotties. She's not going to her second Scotties. This will be her third Scotties. Of course, she's on the other side of the Rockies during those first two provincial championships from British Columbia, but she's joining you this year, this season. Tell us a little bit more about how Desiree has completely transformed your team.
Yeah, what better way to welcome Des to Alberta than with an Alberta jacket to welcome her home in her home city, I might add. So I know that she has lots of family and friends that will be there to watch her in her new home, which I know she's really excited about. And I don't know, Des has been, I think, everything I expected out of a person and a teammate and more. She is honestly the most genuine human and person, and getting to know her basically over the last few months has been it's been amazing. And she fits in so well with us, which I know can maybe be intimidating when you have three people that know each other well and are friends and have played together before. But she has fit in, and I feel like she's just as much a part of this as we've always been, essentially. She's the one that keeps it light for us on the ice, I think, but deep down, the side of her you don't get to see, I think, publicly, is how competitive she is, how sneaky feisty she is. But you'll never see that on the ice from her. She hides it very well. So yeah, I honestly, as far as teammates go, you can't ask for much more from a human and a teammate and a person, honestly.
And Danielle, when thinking about the Scotties here and just, oh my gosh, it's going to be a few short weeks, really. You've described so many amazing qualities and characteristics of Desiree herself, and she's got the experience to boot. How do we utilize that as a team to get us through, which Curling Canada revealed your pool looks like a very intense pool.
Yeah.
So how do we draw on Desiree's experience?
I think no matter where we've played or what we've played in this year, she's always been pretty good at keeping things in the moment. And I think for her, she's able to give us a little bit of insight of, okay, yeah, there's curling, but there's a lot of other things and background noise that go on at the Scotties, other events that you're a part of, so many people there. So just even her knowing, all the other little things, the outside distractions that are a part of it, aside from the curling, I think that will be huge. And just her being able to keep us centered in all of that and not get caught up in all the million things that are going around.
Yeah. And you know what, Danielle? I mean, you're saying so many incredible things. And for us as the viewers at home, we see the optics of it and then we assume, or else we hear other people's narratives and stories. And so I know for us, we get one view of what these championships look like. And so you're going to get a totally different view. And to have that person inside your team, it will only be, a benefit and advantage to you. And I mean, I don't want to let you off the hook yet, Danielle, but in thinking about your own career, you've done some incredible things. You've played in mixed championships, mixed doubles national championships. You are a part of an Olympic trials team, and you have played with some incredible athletes, including John Morris, Kelsey Rock, and Jason Ginter, who's your partner. And it's arguable, maybe not even arguable, that you're one of Alberta's best thirds, and of course, one of the best thirds here in our nation right now. And how do you prepare for that peak performance moving into the Scotties?
Yeah, I have been really lucky my entire life to be surrounded by the teammates that I have been and the coaches. I don't I don't have a single person that I can say hasn't helped me in some capacity along the way. Which I have to give the credit to just about everyone else, all those people around me. It's kept my love for the game alive. People like Kelsey, who is one of my best friends to this day, and I wouldn't be curling if we didn't have, I think, that friendship for all those years together. And now Jason, us getting married this summer and having the curling as part of our lives as well. I've been really lucky to keep those people close, and it's kept my love for the game strong, which is, I think, the only reason that I've been able to stick with it as long as I have. And I feel really lucky with these new teammates going to the Scotties. They played so well in the final. I personally definitely struggled out there. So having their support around me, I didn't expect to feel so supported in such a big moment, and a lot of their first time in that moment as well. That really blew me away. So I can't even imagine what the rest of this experience in the Scotties is going to be like, continuing to have that support, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and Danielle, you've been in that position before at the Alberta finals too, as well. And so to be on the other end of it, and to recognize that you've had the support with your teammates around you is absolutely admirable. And when thinking about the teammate support, I think about Selena in that last end and the precision and the leadership and the confidence that she exuded in those last final shots. Selena, I'm gonna get you into a whole world, and I'm gonna take you back in time a little bit, because
No.
those of us who know you to be a shot maker and know you to be the person that puts the broom down and goes and is determined with what you've set your mind to. And you really had a breakthrough moment at such a young age. And I'd love to share with the viewers what that looks like. And I want to take us back to that moment where we have seen this, the Selena we see today is in due part to moments like this. So take a look.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
So for those of our viewers who don't know that moment, that's from the 2016 Alberta Junior Provincial Championship, where full circle, Selena, you were in the final against Kayla Skurlik herself, of course, with younger teams and with a different lineup too as well. But that really is the moment that we as Albertans started to recognize that Sturmay name go through our ladies circuit and really start to see that Sturmay last name generate some really strong teams. And that is in due part to your leadership and confidence. How have you been able to lead so many strong and successful teams over the last years and through the different age levels of development from juniors into ladies play?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is honestly just trusting the process, just sticking to what you work towards and what you train towards, and the things that you do together on a daily basis. I think it's just trusting that process and sticking to what you've trained for, and just knowing that at the end of the day, it is just a game and you're just doing it for fun.
I really appreciate that. As an athlete myself, as somebody who enjoys curling, there's that part that we always profess, which is the balance of it. And Paige and Danielle both alluded to it. It's also the perspective and being able to dissociate both and use it also to your advantage and know that it's just a game allows you to also have some of those really great outcomes too as well. Okay, Team Sturmay, Team Alberta. Now, right now, our viewers are going to get a whole whirlwind of all things Team Sturmay and Team Alberta and the three of you. So I'm going to share with them one of the moments that I'm coining, that I'm getting trademarked for. And that is this lovely little moment here. At least I get the caption towards this. And it is right there. I'm calling this the selfie that stole the hearts. You've heard it here. You've heard it on this broadcast, the home end, but right there, taking a look at both of those pictures, taking a look at both of those moments, they hold great significance for all of you. How is that going to resonate moving forward?
I have no idea. It's hard to wrap my head around, Evan. It's too soon.
You know what? Totally. And I mean, I guess the one thing about memorabilia is that it lives on our walls, it lives on our shelves, but it's these moments like this selfies, like these times together that really show like the epicenter of what it is to be an athlete, what it is to be a curler, and also like what it means to be somebody who gets to represent our province. Now, there is a smile in that one picture up there, up in the top, maybe our left hand or right hand corner, depending on the screen. And that's your coach, Ted Appelman. And Ted has been coaching you throughout this season, and Ted has his own extensive curling resume, if we might add, or we might call it. What has he been able to provide to your team this year that has set you up for this kind of success?
Ted has been, I think, significantly more than we could have imagined when we first asked him to coach us. he told us at the beginning of the year, we identified, one of our goals, our big goals this year was to make it to the provincial final. And he said, "Yep, I absolutely can get you to the provincial final. After that, I can't help you because I haven't got through one of those yet."
That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair.
So he got us to the final. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. He has been, more than I think we could have imagined in a coach. We definitely struggled to find someone this year, which I think is a whole bigger issue and us finding coaches in itself. But I guess we'll give a shout out to Tyler Tardy, Dez's fiance, gave us the idea to ask him because he went with Team Cooey to the Briar a couple of years ago, and they
Right.
really enjoyed his perspective and his contribution. So we reached out and he was really excited. And honestly, at times this year, I think he was more excited to be curling and out there than we were.
And that's what you need. That's absolutely what you need as you're going into some of these daunting events, or at least some of these events where you're coming out of either another event or you're coming out of your work life or out of your personal life. And you kind of need that somebody to bridge the gap once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. He was our biggest cheerleader this week. He's been working with us all year on everything from the technical side of things to the more mental side of the game as well. He played a big role in that. Wore so many hats for us and did all of them so well. And I know that we wouldn't, I don't think, have been in that same situation or be where we are today without all that he's done for us this year.
And I mean, we could go on in the conversation about the resources and the accessibility to the variety of personnel that we need to have really successful teams. But when it comes down to having somebody who's committed to all parts of it, if you can find that person who embodies really all those aspects of, mental wellness, of physical wellness, of that social wellness too as well, and then you have an opportunity to identify with that person, having one person is better than sometimes having multiple people coming and going to as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, our approach here at the home end is to take a humble insight into your narrative, into your story. And unfortunately, when it comes to championships, there's always going to be somebody on the winning side and the losing side. And this past weekend, you were competing at the 2024 Sentinel Storage Alberta Scotties, and you had a 6-1 record, bye to the final. And through all course of events, you met a very tough and a very experienced opponent in Team Sturmay from the Garrison Curling Club. And you found yourself after 10 ends of play down 1 point and having to steal either to get yourself into an extra end or into or steal 2 points to win. Now, for those of us at home, we read the scoreboard and we see some of these things that are highlighted by our commentators, like on their side of the scoreboard, there was the steal prior to the 10th end. And then, of course, they were the team that was able to score the only deuce in the game up until the 10th end. But Selena, just prior to the podcast or to the broadcast, and we were talking in the green room, we talked about the value in the 5-rock rule and the no tick, and how it provides that other aspect, the contrary to wanting to have that draw to the button or a shot to win, is that you also, without the hammer, have an opportunity to put a lot of pressure on your opponent and start snatching and stealing away wins from your opponent as well with that strategy. How do you set up that scenario favorably for your team? I mean, I don't know if you've seen it yet this year. Whatever you did obviously worked, but going through that 10th end, how do you get yourself into that position?
Yeah, I think our mindset going into that 10th end was just to string a couple good shots together and get the other team looking at a couple on their last. The 5-rock rule definitely helps immensely with that. You put a couple good ones up early. Paige did a really good job at that. And I think it just forces more aggressive play at the end of the day. And with more aggressive play, you might see more misses or more makes. So I think just at the end of the day, it probably opens up more window of opportunity for those steals.
Now, some of us who were looking beyond what was happening in the rings may have noticed that you you had a moment there where watching that last stone, or as that stone was getting prepared from Team Skurlick to be thrown, that it looked like the magnitude of what was going to happen was starting to set in. And for those of us who are athletes, can see the potential in that shot on both ends. How do you navigate a moment like that where it's out of your control?
It was definitely tough. I mean, I've done a lot of mental training throughout the years, and honestly, when it's my turn and I'm in the game and I'm calling shots or calling line or throwing myself, I have my blindfolders on and really nothing affects me. But in that moment, my time was done. I couldn't control anything more, and yeah, it was just it was a tough 30 seconds of my life.
And all you can do is let your body take over, and it does what it wants to do. Totally. And you know what, Paige, I actually had the opportunity in reviewing some of the video to watch you and Des kind of standing there off to the sides. And of course, that same feeling like you've done your job, you did all you could, but here you are a few feet away watching what could be, I mean, your outcome, your result.
Yeah, I actually happened to see Selena, and that's when it hit. Des and I were pretty calm, and then I turned around and I saw her squatting down in front of the scoreboard, and I was like, oh gosh, okay. This is it.
Well, and I might add for the four of you, I mean, we're trained as competitors to acknowledge, of course, that a missed shot to win or to lose. We always want to be super respectful. You all held it very well together when that rock was going through the rings. I mean, how do you keep it together when you're able to take that stress off your shoulders?
I said, "Oh, Danielle."
Yeah, Danielle.
Hitting us with the hard questions. I don't know. I feel like I've been on the other end of that scenario enough just to, like, I don't want to be yelled at in my face when I'm on the other end of it. And
Yeah.
I think that plays a little bit of a part. Like, that's how I would want to be treated in that scenario. Not that it always happens or has to happen, but that's
Right.
how I would want it. So trying to keep it together and go with that. in that moment.
There's a humanist part of it. There's
Yeah.
that human aspect, right? Where, yeah, there's that small moment where you're trying to figure out, or you're elated, or the emotions are high, but we forget sometimes that these
Mhm.
people are not only everyday citizens in their community, but we're going to see them again in the few short weeks afterwards, right? And so I appreciate that approach, and I appreciate you telling our viewers that, because we can only imagine what it must be like to want to, celebrate, but also recognize that in that scenario or in other scenarios, the other people, the other team might be feeling a little bit different, right?
Mhm.
Now, okay, that live broadcast through Curling Alberta, through Curling Zone, through Curling Stadium, and at this arena itself brought about 5,000 viewers between live and live stream for that final game. That's incredible, but you know that there are going to be so many more eyes on you in Calgary moving forward. And all those eyes, of course, here in the province are going to be there cheering for you. Who has been some of your biggest supporters this season in the last few years? And tell us how we can support you at the Scotties.
Yeah, I think some of our biggest sponsors, obviously, are friends and family. They're always there for the tough losses and for the great wins. They're there for us no matter what. Obviously, our sponsors, financially, we wouldn't be able to be away from work every weekend, and also spending money trying to curl and get points. That just makes such a difference in itself, to have those generous sponsors and to have them believe in us and believe in our dream. Those are kind of definitely the top ones that I can think of.
I think the one thing that we sometimes get confused with as viewers, or we get fixed in on, is the fact that a lot of the teams that we see perpetually on our big broadcasting, these are the elite of the elite. And some of them are funded, some of them are bringing in incredible sponsorship because of the exposure that they're able to provide for their community supporters and for their larger supporters. And so, you know, I'm really excited for you moving forward, because this is an opportunity not only for you to, I mean, take on new possibilities, but also to be able to showcase the people who have supported you your whole entire lives. And that's truly what curling and curling community is here in our province. And so, you know, that's absolutely incredible. Now, we are at the halfway mark, the three of you. And I don't know about you, I'm sweating a little bit because the nerves are fire. And I know Paige sent me a text message and she said in the green room, this is the longest 2 minutes of a wait that I've ever had in my life. So we're going to take it nice and easy. And then we're going to close out our session for the day with our viewers. Okay. All right. The hard part is over. I really appreciate your honest answers and your honest responses. Of course, big media is going to come after you here in the next couple of days. And once your brains have settled into what is actually happening, I know that you're going to be able to articulate and get out exactly what you need to say. But we have it first here. And so I thank you so much. So I have this little game that is going to be uniquely mine here on Curling Alberta's The Home End. And it's called Evans Goes or Woes. Okay. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you a couple of just random things, and you each have to provide a response. But your responses are your go or woe. Go mean, yeah, hit it, take it, want it, love it. Woes mean absolutely not, no thank you. And of course, if you want to give us a little bit of side juice, we would absolutely adore that. I'm sure our viewers at home would really want to know the thinking behind some of these. So, not to get too gossipy and not to get too spicy, but a tame go or woe, the bye to the final. Go or woe?
Go.
Go. Yeah, we're go as a whole team.
I think go. I had to think about that, but I think go.
I think it might have been different, had a different response and a different result happened last night too as well. Maybe. Okay. Now this is perfect because this is going to be a divided. I can predict that it's going to be divided. But curling couples, go or whoa?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have to say go. There's no other answer.
You don't have to say go.
Maybe Jay's
Just
not
the poor,
watching.
the poor soul on the other side watching this might be a little sad afterwards. Paige, go or whoa?
Go.
I'm sure
So I have to.
through mixed doubles, some days it's a whoa, probably.
Most days it's a whoa in mixed doubles.
Honestly, most days it's a go in doubles. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. There's more to that. And I'm sure our viewers, when they see you around, they're going to ask you about that. Not my duty, not my job. Okay. And finally, the last one. I'm going to get a little sentimental here. Heart-shaped jewelry. Go or whoa? Selena.
Go.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Danielle.
Yeah, it's a go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we're
Paige.
going go.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Desiree will be receiving another diamond in her Scotties jewelry when she gets to Calgary. So ladies, I absolutely thank you so much. I know it's a late night broadcast, and I thank you so much for accommodating me and for our viewers at home. It's nice to be able to catch you fresh, even though you might not feel the freshest, but it's really nice for us to be able to connect with our viewers and put that really nice face towards a lot of the things that we see that are highlighted but often happen so quickly in front of us on our TVs during the live stream and during the broadcasting of curling. So the 2024 Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Calgary, you are the home province. Now, again, there's going to be other athletes from Alberta who are going to be competing on other teams, but you are going to be the only team who will be repping the Alberta crest, the only team who will be wearing the gold and blue. And I'm hoping that just by saying that, it put a few more little sentimental pieces into realizing what actually happened for you. We're so excited to see you out there. Absolutely, you have our viewers and all of the supporters here in our province and probably across the nation. There's a few too as well, supporting you as you enter that amazing tournament. So viewers, we near the end of the show, and I want to thank you all for joining me and Team Sturmay. Actually, let's cross that out, Team Alberta, as we get ready to join them in the next couple of weeks. Now, before they step on the ice at the 2024 Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Calgary, we have a couple of things to look forward to here in our own province, and that's the 2024 Boston Pizza Cup Alberta Men's Provincials that will be held in Hinton, Alberta from February 6th to 11th. That's starting next Wednesday in Hinton, and it will run all throughout the weekend, where you can find live streaming content and some very important games, just like you watched Team Sturmay in over the week, next week, and over into the weekend. So be prepared to watch some pretty incredible curling happen again right at your fingertips or a few feet in front of you. Stay tuned to Curling Alberta's social platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the scores and updates and memos, as well on curlingalberta.ca. If you'd like something highlighted here on our shows, they're going to happen weekly, Monday nights. I've got some amazing guests lined up for next week, so you're going to have to come back. But if you'd like to see more, please email me at the home end at curlingalberta.ca. I'd love to connect with you, to share your story, to bring you here as a guest, and to invite your communities here to our community across the province and across the nation digitally. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Evan Asmussen, and please continue to make curling your home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Evan.
Thanks.
See ya.
Evan.